Hey there, it's Jackie Mumfree, the Mableton Real Estate Maven, and today I am here to talk to those who are wondering if open houses work to get homes sold. You know, a lot of real estate agents who are in the market don't like doing open houses because they feel that they don't work or they don't get enough traffic or they're just doing it to appease the seller, even though 70% of the time they don't sell. Well, I think it all depends on how the property is marketed, who it's marketed to, the repetition or the consistency in which the marketing message gets out. A lot of real estate agents plan to do an open house maybe 2 or 3 days before it happens. They throw a couple of signs out. They put notifications on Zillow and Redfin and all these other Trulia type websites, their MLS, and then they just wait for people to come. Well, a good open house actually takes planning. It takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of organization and determination to get properties sold. I had 2 open houses today. I had some agents in my office who are new and are excited and wanted to help me help them grow their business a little bit through the open house technique. And I also got a home with an offer today. I've had several homes in the last 6 months that I've actually sold at my open houses, and there's a little bit of a magic to it, but I'll tell you the basics. Okay, so if you are looking at selling your house, one of the things that you have to do is make sure, whether if it's vacant or occupied, that it is staged for sale. So if you have a lot of personal effects in the home, you will need to have those removed, because while the house is open, people are going to be distracted by the things you have in your house instead of looking at the house itself. So if you've got a lot of children's toys, for instance, I would remove all the teddy bears, all the extra dolls, all the things, or have them so organized that it looks almost like a dollhouse curio or like a doll museum, that everything is complete natural or complete organized style or fashion. If you cook the night before, don't fry fish or chicken or anything that has a lot of loud, funky, very distinctive smells, because that'll turn buyers off faster than anything else. You want to make sure the grass has been cut, that the leaves have been blown, that you want to make sure there's no trash around the property. You want to make sure that the house smells good. I often suggest to my sellers the night before they sell a property or have a property on the open house to use a lemon scented cleanser. Because it smells nice and fresh. Sometimes I'll tell them to buy some cookie dough, or just take some cookies from Publix or Walmart, put them on a pan, and put them in the oven at around 200 degrees. Not so much to eat, but just really for the smell. People like cookie dough type smells. They like lemon smells, they like orange, they like vanilla. Nothing overpowering, but just the smell of a nice clean scent does wonders on houses, especially vacant ones. Clean your toilets, tubs, showers, floors, baseboards, your vent covers on your HVAC units. You want to make sure those are clean, because if those are dusty, then people are going to have the perception that you are not maintaining your HVAC system. And if you're not maintaining the HVAC system, they question what other items you may or may not be maintaining, and you don't want that in their mind when they're thinking about possibly buying your house or writing an offer on your house. You want to make sure that your house has a good location. If it's way deep in a subdivision, sometimes people can get lost. I would also have you as a homeowner and myself just go and talk to the neighbors of whose yard you need to put directionals in, so people can get directed to your property. If it's way back in the community and there's not enough signage inside the community, then that can create a challenge. You also need to make sure that if you live in a community with an HOA, that having open house signs out throughout the neighborhood is kosher with them, because if not, they'll just pick up the signs and all your hard work would be for naught. As a real estate agent, you want to make sure that you pick out the property well in advance, that it's properly staged and ready to go, that you go out and check your blocks, how many turns, where you're going to put your signs, things like that. You want to get your marketing materials that you're going to use to door knock or mail to the neighborhood or canvass the neighborhood. You want to make sure you have the marketing materials inside the property. You want feedback sheets so that people can write down what they think about the property, so that you can give that to the homeowner. You want a sign-in sheet. You should have everybody that walks into your open house sign the sign-in sheet. You will get people who will put fake names. You will get people who don't want to give their information. You just tell them, look, I'm here to help you see the property. in exchange for seeing the property, this seller has requested, you blame it on your seller, the seller has requested it. Anyone that walks into their property has to register their name. This is for safety reasons, it's for liability reasons. So most people, when you say it that way, will go ahead and do it. Even if they give a false name, they'll go ahead and do it because you want them to have the action of signing in. If you go to a doctor's office, you go to get your car worked on, anywhere, you have to sign in. To get any kind of agreement, any type of job for someone to do something for you on your behalf, you typically have to sign. So that people are used to signing, so you just have to be adamant about that. I think that's a very big deal. And a couple other things, when you're marketing the property, you got to make sure you have the best pictures possible, and make sure that the listing is going on your MLS service. If you're in a part of the country that has more than one MLS that you subscribe to both. Put your properties on the third party websites like classifiedads.com, postlets.com, backpage.com, olx.com, craigslist.com, which most people are familiar with, and then whatever other popular free classified ads website that's in your area, you want to make sure you're on there. You want to do an e-blast to everyone that's in your database. You want to do a text message blast on everybody that's in your cell phone, even your mother. You want to text everyone. Photo of the house along with the address and the time in which you'll be there. You want to make sure you do a short, little small postcard to the neighborhood. So if there's about 500 homes in the neighborhood and you have an open house, you have to know this in advance. 10 days in advance, and you want to go ahead and do a little postcard to the neighborhood, inviting the neighbors. A lot of people find it weird that you would either canvass a neighborhood or invite neighbors to a property, but we find statistically that a lot of people will know of people who have been to their neighborhood or have seen their house and would also like to live in that house. And if they've ever, for instance, someone might say to a neighbor that says, okay, if you ever hear of a house that's up for sale, let me know because I would love to live here. You'd be surprised how many neighbors actually bring customers into their neighborhood, which is why I think it's important to invite your neighbors. And then beyond the canvassing, door knocking, mailing the neighbors, doing your email blast, your text messaging blast, you want to make sure that it's on the third-party websites. If you're listed with a real estate agent, most real estate agents are going to have access to Zillow, Trulia, possibly Redfin, depending on what part of the country you're in, Realtor.com, Postlets.com, and this is a variety of sites that you can post. And with all those efforts, after everything's said and done, the number one tried and true thing that you can do to get people to come to your open house is to call them. So go through your phone list after you've emailed, text them, call them, pick the top 50 people that you think would love that property or know someone that would love that property, and get on the phone and dial and get those people to come over to your open house. I had 2 open houses today. We had a combined 10 people come through the properties. We have one property that's receiving an offer on it. Last week we had over 60 people. I had 6 open houses last weekend. I got help from agents in my office, and my sellers were extremely happy with the results. We did get one property that had 7 offers, and it is now under contract and on its way to closing. A couple weeks before that, we had an open house where we had 7 people come through. Before that, we had an open house with 17 people, and got that one sold that day. And did one before that. I had 3 offers at the open house that day. So I'm all here in the Mableton area. So open houses, do they work? Indeed. You just have to have the right agent that's willing to put the right amount of effort at the right time to get the right buyer for you. For some of those who are a little bit challenged with doing open houses, like if you've got a gated community or if you live in a high rise, and so it's a little bit more difficult to get people through because of the signage issue or the gate access issue, there's other things that you can do. You can have like a wine and cheese event, maybe invite people at the clubhouse, because most HOAs that are in condo communities or in gated communities do have some type of clubhouse. Get with your HOA so you can set some times and where people will have some access to get to the clubhouse, entertain there, and then take them to on the tour over to the property. Once everyone has kind of gone through the property, then they can leave the subdivision. That's one way of doing it. You can also do a video tour of the property, not just a regular virtual tour with just still photos of the property set to music, but you actually walking through the property with a video camera, just expressing and showing the features and amenities of not only the property and the community, but of the home. Another thing that you can do, which I think is outstanding, is just have a small network of agents, the ones that work that area very hard, and invite them over for dinner. If the home is occupied and if you aren't a good cook, you can always have those things catered. The purpose is that you want to open up the home to as many qualified individuals, whether they're home buyers or real estate agents that work that area. It's going to be typically just a small amount of core agents, and most real estate agents or brokers can pull from the MLS statistics who sells what where. And those agents, that core amount of agents, it's important for them to get into the property. I've always had the philosophy that agents always sell what they see. If the agent never sees it, they never really remember it or can sell it or can share it with someone else. So get as many eyes as possible, either through buyers through your mega open house or through the real estate network. If you live in a condo high rise or if you live in a gated community, have a gathering of sorts. Show off the house, even maybe do like a little drawing of sorts, because you need to get people into the property to see it, because that is the only way it's going to sell. So thanks so much for watching this video. Do know that open houses work when they're done and executed properly. And if you've got any questions about them or about real estate in general in the Mableton area or surrounding area, give me a call.